Collecting for the Police Athletic League?
I got some questions I'd like to ask you, Mrs. Lawson.
Do I have to answer them?
I'm not going to haul you down to the station, if that's what you mean.
Bye-bye.
I expected as much. I got two things I want to tell you. First, Miriam is doing better and better. She's getting her appetite, strength, and her memory back. And secondly, I think you did it, Mrs. Lawson. I think you tried to kill Miriam Mason, and I'm going to prove it.
Charles, I realize at this stage of your career that making me has lost its charm, but do you think you could spare me just a few minutes of your time to help me continue discovering how much I enjoy it?
Continue.
I was saying, Hollister Mall is approaching 70% occupancy.
Wait a minute. Quinby, March, Maine, the department store, since when have they been up with us?
Charles, that's what this meeting's all about.
I know, but they're very exclusive. Why are they interested in us?
Got me to thank for that.
Well, that makes it even more mysterious.
They're expanding to capture the new elite. Kingsley's going to be their test market. See if it's feasible.
Well, these are very impressive figures.
You're welcome.
Charles? Oh, thank God you're here.
Nancy, do you mind? We're having a
Charles,
business
you've got to
meeting.
help me.
Now, calm down. What's wrong?
What's that Lasky? He's accusing me of trying to kill Miriam.
What?
Well, he says that I'm the one that gave her the pill.
Did you?
Did he say that he charges?
Well, I don't know. He said that he knew that I didn't. He's just going to try and prove it.
Webster, that's harassment, isn't it?
Some people might think he's telling the truth.
That isn't funny, Harold.
Charles, what are we going to do? We have to do something.
Well, what can I do?
Well, you know the police captain. Why can't you call him up and get the guy fired?
Well, it isn't always as easy as that.
But Charles has to be. It's not true.
Well, then, you have nothing to worry about. If they don't have any evidence, they can't do anything.
Yeah, but you know how the police are. I mean, if they don't have any evidence, they'll just try and make something up. I mean, you gotta...
Charles? Charles?
Well, you can't stop
Nancy,
it
would
before
you
they
stop a
stop
second?
it.
Can't you see he's in pain? Now, come on, sit down. Nancy, help me. Would you get the dare here?
I'll be fine.
Webster, you're making a big deal over nothing.
Well, you're
I mean,
really
he said
something.
he's
You know that?
fine. Charles, you gonna let him talk to me like that?
Please.
Don't try to talk now, Charles. Here, come on. Look. Is this better?
I told you he was fine.
He is not fine. Now, if you don't lay off, I'm going to run to Lasky myself and help him prove that you're guilty. I'm going to get you a drink.
It's probably just something he had for lunch. And we stop making a big production over
I'm
it?
going to call an ambulance.
No.
Charles, it's obviously your heart. You need medical attention.
I'll be all right in just a minute.
Drink this.
Thank you.
Now, Charles, you've got to see a doctor.
If you ask me, it needs another lawyer.
Well, nobody's asking you.
Now, listen. Stop it, both of you. I'll be all right in just a minute. And I forbid any ambulance. I'll really be fine. I'll be fine.
I told you he was fine. Now, Charles, what are you going to do to help me out of this? You know, Lasky will just keep on harassing me over and over again and never stop until we start. You know, we have to...
Carla! Ooh, where is that lady?
Jean? Now that's funny. Oh, isn't this sweet?
Carla!
That's strange.
Want to pick some more?
Are you playing games with me, lady?
I was just about to ask you the same question.
Hey, how's it going? ask me why I'm home so early?
Nah, I feel it's has something to do with my career.
I'd have known I couldn't fool you.
Don't you ever forget it.
You know, I hope that we've learned from our past experiences.
I think we have. I know I have.
Me too. And that's why I'm going to try to be more understanding about you wanting to sing. And I'm willing to concede.
Oh, Gene, thank you.
You're welcome, sweet.
And you know, this time it's going to be different. This time I'm going to be reasonable.
Oh, what is reasonable?
I don't know. But let's not find out by trial and error. Let's straighten it out right here and now.
And we're going to stick to it no matter what?
Stick to it no matter what.
All right.
But you better start thinking fast, because that just might be my first booking.
Remember, you can't do clam bakes, lady.
Oh, they're too fattening. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Redland. Yes, I could, but what for? What?
What's wrong, babe?
I find that hard to believe. Yes, we'll be right there.
What's the
It's Jimmy's school. They say they caught him stealing.
So, Jason, that brings us still to who took the $1,463.41. Excuse me, 42 cents.
We don't want to make it any worse than it already is, do we, Mr. Randall?
And what are your conclusions, Alan?
Well, after extensive checking and cross-checking, I've eliminated all but the two people we've already discussed, and the first is your secretary, Kathy.
No, that's hard to believe.
She has easy access to both funds, little or no authorization needed. A policy, by the way, I'd seriously consider changing. But mostly some bookkeeping habits that either are sloppy or dishonest, neither of which is acceptable, in my opinion.
When Mr. Prescott wants your opinion, he'll give it to you, Mr. Randall.
Go on.
As for motivation, she's divorced, raising 2 small children, works long hours.
Another policy you'd consider changing?
Needless to say, a tidy list.
And the other one is Gil.
Of course, as your second in command, he had unlimited access and authorization.
He said spelling it out for him.
Jason, you've waited long enough. It's time to call in the police.
No, I don't agree, Alan. At least not yet.
What we're talking about here is grand larceny.
Not yet, no.
But,
That'll be all, Mr. Randall.
well, I'll tell you this. I've done all I can or intend to do on this matter, snooping around, asking questions. Who knows what the other employees will think of me? Good day.
What indeed?
You're a big help.
Oh, he's always driven me nuts.
So I see. Now what?
Well, you could always torture both suspects.
No, not me. That's your department.
Well, King Solomon, I somehow think you'll manage to come up with the right solution.
King Solomon, eh? You know, Sharon, every once in a while you do manage to come up with something intelligent.
What do you mean the county prosecutor won't make a deal?
I'm sorry. He was very adamant about it.
I'll bet he was. I mean, adamant is the nicest thing he's ever been to the Prescotts. I can thank my dad for that.
Well, your father wasn't the one that was arrested for drunken driving.
Well, I'm not going to plead guilty.
Well, I don't think you have much choice.
Well, think again, because that's totally unacceptable.
Well, you know, the whole world doesn't revolve around your wants and desires.
Don't bet on it.
I don't think I will.
Good. And why don't you go back to our two-faced friend and whoever else you can talk to get this charge reduced to a reckless driving or something.
All right, I'll give it another try.
Good. When shall we meet again?
Better give me 2 days, at least.
Okay. What time?
1,
No.
2,
No.
3.
Uh-uh.
I really don't enjoy 20 questions. You give me a time.
7.
Why so early?
Well, I was thinking more of the evening.
No.
Well, come on, you know. Days are a little, tough for me.
Well, you're here now, aren't you?
Well, it's special circumstances.
Well, I guess our next meeting will have to be just as special then.
I hope so.
I'm sure you do.
No, really. Days are out, It's just too crazy at work.
All right, 7 it is.
Say over a drink.
Drinks? I should have known you'd suggest something like that.
Then what do you say?
You usually write about me like you.
What else do you usually write about?
I don't think you want to know.
Try me.
No, thank you.
Come on.
Okay. But business only.
Oh, of course. Your place or mine?
I'm glad Mr. Webster insisted that you see me, Mr. Carpenter. This is not a pretty picture. High blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol level, no exercise, a fatty diet, too much alcohol, and an incredible amount of personal stress. You're just asking for trouble. One thing you've got going for you is that you don't smoke.
Well, perhaps I ought to go out and buy a pack of cigarettes, Doctor. After all, I certainly don't want to be incomplete.
I'm glad you find it so amusing.
Doctor, your scare tactics just don't happen to scare me.
Your body is just giving you a warning. Don't ignore it.
Just a minor discomfort.
It's a warning. Consider yourself lucky. The first warning of a heart attack for some people is sudden death.
Well, I've been handling my own life pretty well up to now, Doctor, and I think I'm capable of continuing to do so.
Just remember, if you don't take my advice, you might not have a life to handle much longer.
Do you have anything to say for yourself, young man? Well, we'll get the truth eventually. Yes? Send them in.
Jimmy, honey, are you all right?
Apparently he's doing quite well. So well, in fact, that he won't even talk to us. Isn't that right?
What's going on?
Maybe Jim would feel more comfortable if he waited outside.
Oh, that's a very good idea. You may go.
I'm sorry we had to call you down here.
I just want to know what's going on.
Well, the boy was caught stealing, and then he lied about it.
Well, could you please start from the beginning?
Oh, yes. Miss Ross?
Well, shortly after lunch, while the class was supposed to be at the library, I went back to the room to get some papers that I'd left behind. I was in the teacher's lounge. When I got there, Jimmy was standing at the desk, and the top drawer was open.
Oh, that's the drawer where the extra lunch money is kept.
Yes. I asked him what he was doing, and he wouldn't reply.
Oh, he said he wasn't doing anything.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry. Then I noticed that the change in the drawer was gone, and I also noticed that his pocket was full of coins.
And she asked him if he took it, and he said no. Isn't that right?
Yes. And when he emptied his pocket, there was the exact amount of change that had been in the drawer.
$2.15.
That's not like Jimmy.
It certainly isn't.
That's what I thought. He's been such a good boy.
Look, I know this all doesn't sound too good, but I know my own son.
Do you?
Yes, sir, I do. And I want to talk to him right now.
I'll go and get him.
Mr. Redlin, every parent that comes in here thinks his child's innocent. But facts are facts.
Oh, Jimmy's basically a good boy, and it's only fair that we should hear what he has to say.
He's gone.
What?
The boy's gone.
The most I can hope to do is touch some people's lives and teach someone something.
I cringe every time I think of you in Chesterfield. It's so rough.
Well, that didn't stop you from opening a clinic there.
It's different for a man, Lori. And my situation is different. I'll be seeing one patient at a time. These are people who have come to me voluntarily. At Monroe School, I don't know. I just don't like the idea of you doing battle with a room full of hostile misfits.
You make it sound terrible, Ben. Who says they'll be hostile? And who cares even if they are? I'm not afraid. So will you please do me a favor and quit worrying? I don't want you to turn prematurely distinguished.
What?
Gray.
Oh.
They say you're not talented.
They may be right.
You're busy, huh?
Slowest afternoon of my life.
Well, it's nice for a change. How's Miriam?
She's not doing well at all. This whole incident with the pills has had a terrible effect on her.
Well, I'm not surprised.
The police guard's making her nervous. She's not eating. She thinks someone may be poisoning her food.
From her point of view, that's not unreasonable, is it?
Initially, no. But even our assurances isn't doing any good. And she's not sleeping well, which doesn't help matters.
I'd like to see her.
Well, even if you could, I'm not sure she would respond. She's totally withdrawn.
I'd still like the opportunity to try.
I hope soon. But don't count on it.
Well, she's not the only one I'm worried about.
Who else?
Russ.
Lori.
Oh, don't get mad at me. After what he and Becky have been through, it's only natural that I'm concerned.
Don't you mean curious?
No, I mean concerned. First, he didn't answer any of my phone calls. Then the phone was disconnected, so I went over to the townhouse. That's been sold. No forwarding address and no trace of Russ.
So,
So, don't you think that's a little unusual?
considering the circumstances, no.
Well, I do.
Obviously.
And I tried to get a hold of Becky at Cohen's office, and they were so rude to me. There's no way short of chasing after her.
No.
Don't worry. I'm not that desperate. But I am concerned for her safety.
What? You think Russ is stalking her?
It's not as if he doesn't have a history of violence.
Well, she's very visible right now. I don't think anything's going to happen.
I wish I shared your confidence. Or is it just indifference?
It's called minding my own business.
Ben, they're two very close friends of mine, and I care about them very much.
Look, you have to let go, Lori. They're two adults capable of running their own lives.
Hardly.
In your opinion. At any rate, it's not as if you have any choice. I mean, there's nothing you can do anyway.
I know he did it. This is just the kind of a stunt that Gil would try and pull.
You're not really surprised, are you?
Yes, I know that Gil's a lot of things, but a thief isn't one of them.
Wasn't one of them.
But why? I've done everything I can to raise him right. How can two children grow up to be so different? As a lawyer, what would you do?
Fire him and get another son.
Come on, I'm serious.
So am I.
You know, this hasn't been easy alone.
So I've been frequently told.
I hope whatever you called me over for is important.
Well, if it wasn't important, I wouldn't have called you over.
Good.
Excuse me, I have depositions to take care of.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
I have an important decision to make, and I want you in on it.
Oh, I couldn't have waited, huh?
No.
Do you realize I've got a lot of work to do before it gets started?
That's enough, Gil.
Yes, sir. Well?
Over $1,200 is missing from petty cash and special operation fund.
Wow.
Yeah. And I also discovered who took it.
Great. Who?
My secretary, Kathy.
What?
Yeah. Classic case, really. Financial difficulties, couldn't pay the bills. I wish I could feel differently about it, but grand theft is grand theft. I'm firing her this afternoon and sending in the police.
Wait a minute. You know, she's a nice girl, Dad. We used to date.
We can't let our personal affairs interfere with business.
Well, I realize that, but look how long she's been with us. It's...
Almost 5 years. But who knows how much she's ripped off in that length of time?
Dad, I think you're going overboard on this. I mean, hey, she made a mistake. Now, let's give her another chance.
Would that be your recommendation?
Yeah.
Well, I thought about it, but the offense is serious. You know, we can't have employees walking around here ripping off the company because they think that the sentence is not stiff enough. No, we got to make an example out of her.
Dad, she's got 2 kids. I mean, what would happen to them if she was sent to jail?
Not my problem.
Oh, man.
But I want to thank for your input. And I just wanted to show you how I would handle the situation in case it ever came up with you. You can go back to work now, son. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah. I can't let you do it, Dad. I took the money.
Why?
I needed it.
You couldn't have asked me for it?
No, I couldn't. It was personal.
Personal to come to your father with.
Yeah.
Well, since you're facing charges of theft, I'd like to know what you did with the...
I didn't steal it. I borrowed it.
Borrowing is when you ask me. Stealing is when you take it behind my back.
Oh, come on. You know the difference.
I don't know the difference at all. Apparently, we have 2 different definitions for the same word.
Dad, stop with the double talk.
What'd you do with the money?
I paid a fine. You know, posted a bail.
Oh, that's beautiful. No wonder you were too embarrassed to tell me. What for, as if I didn't know?
I had a few drinks. Cops pulled me over, and that's all it was about.
Well, then why'd you have to hide it from me?
I'll tell you why. Because I knew you would react just like this. You know, I am so sick of your King James views of life.
Yeah, and I am so sick of the careless way you live yours.
Well, I'm in charge of it, so you're just gonna have to put up with it.
Don't bet on it.
And I'm also sick of your preaching and your moralizing. You know, I might not live up to the standards that you want, but I'll tell you, it's not for me. And you know what? I don't want it to be.
Any news?
Nothing.
Oh, Lord.
You know, I've tried every place twice. The arcade, the school ground and everything, and even his friend's house.
Well, Gene, what are we gonna do?
Let's check Mom's place one more time.
Gene?
Yeah, Mom.
Oh, did you find him?
Mom, I was hoping you'd say he was over there with you.
Oh, well, you know I would have called you if he was. Did you try the Collie Avenue Park?
Oh, Mama, I've tried everything.
Well, what now?
I don't have any other choice, Mom. It's time to call the police.